Noor Uday is in the Jordanian capital Amman because Israel has banned Al Jazeera from operating in the country. But first, let's go to southern Gaza and speak to Tareq Abu Azzoum. Tareq, there has been a respite from the constant bombing and bombardment in Gaza during the ceasefire, but it's also made it all the more apparent about how much need there is for shelter and other forms of aid. Israel is obligated to allow the entry of more aid. Is there any further news on these mobile homes and shelters that are so desperately needed right now?
Well, Mohammed, the needs are quite extensive and massive that could be completely beyond comprehension. Since the early hours of this morning, we have been closely monitoring the entry of heavy machinery and the essential mobile homes that had been promised to be allowed to access the Gaza Strip following the intense pressure being made by regional mediators. But what has entered the Gaza Strip are only two bulldozers that have entered via the Karam Abu Salam crossing, and they have moved to the central area to start operating in Gaza today. But basically what we understand is that there has been different violations being made regarding the medical evacuations that had been promised to be taking place in Gaza, where these numbers of critically ill wounded patients have been not yet met based on the terms of the deal. And in order to understand this more better and how does the medical sector in Gaza look like, I'm joined right now by Dr Christopher Holden. He is a Benzema doctor operating in Gaza. Thank you so much for your time today. We know that this is your first visit to Gaza. Tell us more about your experience. What did you see in Gaza's barely functional hospitals, and what is mostly urgently needed in order to help medical sector in Gaza to operate under such extensive and severe circumstances?
So I'm here working in the Nasser hospital with the local doctors as a representative of PANSMA, which is Australia and New Zealand based, and I'm seeing shortages across all sectors really. I don't really think in terms of the lorries that can't get in, the pallets that can't get in. These things are not within my remit. What I do see is the kid without the inhaler, the kid yesterday who had no insulin for his diabetes. I see people without their regular anti-epileptics. I see people with wounds that I cannot find the right antibiotic for. I'm seeing shortages across the board which are having here and now effects on the population right in front of me.
So from your own perspective, what does the medical sector really need in order to start providing the minimal level of care in light of the very limited fraction of aid that had been allowed to access Gaza since the implementation of the current ceasefire deal?
Yeah. Well, first thing to say is the doctors and nurses and the students here are absolute legends. They're the heroes of this piece. And in answer to your question, what do we need? The quicker answer would be, what don't we need? We need everything. That's the honest truth. Great doctors we have, although more are needed, and specialists also, but I can't think of anything that is in good supply here. We need oxygen regulators, we need basic medications, basic surgical instruments. The doctors don't have scrubs for operations, there are all sorts of missing items across the board. I don't have that big overview. I'm not a politician. I see the need in front of me, and like I say, we're missing all sorts of equipment.
Thank you so much for your time. This is a very remarkable testimony that has been made by one of the Benzema doctors here in Gaza, who has visited the Gaza Strip for the first time. We need to remind our viewers that the Gaza Strip has been really subjected to severe military blows, and hospitals have been a key element in the military campaign that has been launched by Israel that also led to a significant devastation, which later had serious repercussions on the health sector and the possibility also for Palestinians to receive life-saving treatment that is no longer available here in the Strip.
All right, that's Al Jazeera's Tareq Abu Azzoum joining us live from Rafah in southern Gaza. Thanks so much, Tareq.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.